Alright guys, so once again we are here, we are back on UniMC and we are telling another story. Welcome to today's video. You guys seem to have really liked last episode. You really did, and it was like just talking about, you know, my story, like my life and stuff that's happened in my life. And you know what, I feel like it's something that I don't say a lot, so doing these kind of little episodes is kind of really good because it gives you a backside or backstory of what I was like as a child, and that's what you seem to want right now. What my childhood was like, and to be honest, I'll go over it, and then if you guys want, I can go over other stuff, whatever you want me to talk about, and I'll feel free to talk about it. Anything you want, guys, you guys deserve it. But yeah, I asked what you guys want me to speak about next, and you said more stuff about your childhood, so yeah, I guess I can do my best. But guys, thank you so much for all the awesome support. If we can go for 2,000 likes within 4 hours, that'd be freaking amazing. Guys, thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much. Let's get into this story. Alright, so let's get into the story. So you guys wanted more stuff about my childhood. Now, my childhood, I would say I freaking loved it. Like I said, I was, ooh, cool. A chest, cool. But yeah, I was a freaking crazy child. I was always out with my friends. We had a lot of fun. We used to actually play games, and we'd never be sitting at home really playing video games or anything like that. We'd always be out playing games like wars and having like mini wars and stuff. It was fun. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, my childhood was awesome. And honestly, I just can't thank my parents enough for moving us out to Ireland, because I think that's what made it awesome. And I honestly can't thank them enough, because if you guys don't know, I came from England, and I think I would have been in like a city, so I don't think I would have had like the freedom that I would have had as a child. So thank you so much to my parents. So let's start a story. So you could say this story is pretty explosive. Now, pun intended. Now, when I was a child, the last episode I spoke about a little bit when I was in hospital. Now, the second time I was in hospital was when I got my appendix out. I was only about 8, and I had a terrible pain in my stomach, in my right hand side. And it was a horrible pain. It was really horrible. And I went in, and they figured out it was my appendix. Now, this ain't the full story. I'm just giving you a bit of backstory. But I was in there for like, I was in the hospital for like 3 weeks. I missed loads of school, and yeah, I was in there for like 3 weeks recovering. Once I got out, my dad and I don't know what was happening, but we went up to the forestry to burn some stuff, and like to burn some rubbish. Like back then, that's kind of what you did. You could burn, like, I think it's like illegal now to burn stuff, but back then you were allowed to. But we were burning rubbish because we were building like our new house. And at the time, this was years ago now, and all I remember is that I was sitting in the car. Dad had a big fire going on outside, and I was just sitting in the car waiting because he told me to. And I got really bored, so I got out, and then we were standing around the fire, and all of a sudden, like, I literally mean all of a sudden, literally a massive explosion just came flying out. My face, everything got burned. All I literally remember is standing there and like, just like seeing this big massive fireball just coming into your face. Like, it was horrible. I remember my dad just being like, my dad was right next to the fire because he was poking it, you know, like making sure it keeps burning and moving everything around to make it burn quicker and stuff. So he was standing right next to it, and then I was standing a little bit away from it, and all I remember is seeing him just pretty much getting engulfed with the fire. It was crazy. And then all I remember is literally, I just remember looking and seeing the fire come towards me, and I just remember turning around as quick as possible. But like, the outcome out of that was my face got all burnt. I remember for the whole night I was sitting in front of the TV with an ice patch in front of my eye, and it was the worst pain ever, because like if you've been burnt or something and you put something cold like next to it, it doesn't feel nice, but it's good to heal it, but it's even painful than actually getting burned. Now, I don't remember like being burnt that much. I remember the pain I felt when I put the ice on, but I don't remember being burnt much. But I just remember some of the pains. Like, I was really young at the time, but it was honestly just so freaking crazy. Like, it just exploded like straight away. Like, it was just instant. You think that, oh, if something happened, like, you know, you'd have time to react or something, but no, it just literally instantly like exploded in my face, and it was honestly scary at the time. I just remember my dad just running over as quick as possible, like just seeing was I okay. But well, as you can see, I'm all right now. But oh my god, was it like, it was just a massive fireball. And the funny thing was, this was just the time that I literally was just out of the hospital, I think like 2 days, and it was a Sunday, so I was going back to school that Monday, and then I was off school for another week, which was kind of funny. And the reason it was funny, Mom was saying it was quite funny when she said what actually happened, because like I got burnt. It sounded a bit random, but yeah, I was off school then for another week, which is quite funny. To be honest, it was quite nice because like when I got burnt, it wasn't too bad. From what I remember I was fine after like a few days, so it was most likely just pretty much a free holiday. When we came back and we got everything sorted, like my dad was like horribly burnt. Like I was only like burnt on my eye and my cheek and stuff, but my dad was literally burnt all over. But once he got me home and stuff, he went back up with my other brothers who weren't there at the time. They didn't go up with us, but he went up because obviously dad was pretty burnt and stuff, but he had to go up and make sure that the fire was still like not burning down like the fire street or something. Like pretty much my dad just rushed home once that explosion kind of happened. It wasn't really an explosion, it was just a big massive fireball in a sense, but it did kind of make a bang noise, which was, I guess, an explosion. But yeah, they rushed back up there to make sure the fire wasn't going crazy. It was absolutely fine, but then they figured out what actually caused the explosion, and it was an aerosol can. So I don't know how it managed to get in there. Like obviously it was a mistake, because obviously my dad knew that if an aerosol can got into like a fire, you know, it would expand and it would explode, and that was what it was. A little tiny can, I think, like, I don't know, a Lynx bottle caused, like, just the size of a Lynx bottle caused like a big massive gulf of flame, and it's just crazy. Like, it really is. Like, luckily no one got hurt. Like, seriously, dad was pretty badly burnt, but he wasn't really hurt or anything. It was horrible. But yeah, it was actually quite scary. I wouldn't say it's the scariest moment of my life, because literally it was just over in a flash. But yeah, it was pretty horrible. And like, thank God, like, my eyebrows didn't get like burnt off or something. But yeah, that's pretty much the main story, and now I'm just gonna tell you a few other stories about like how I almost died and stuff. Like, these stories are like tiny stories that will never be, like, they wouldn't be able to make a full video, but like, it's just more about my childhood in general. I was crazy, I had no fear, I was dumb, I was stupid, like, I just had no fear when it came to something. So let me tell you the story how I almost died, again, literally. So I was in the field. There was bales. If you don't know what bales are, it's pretty much compact, it's compact hay. So it's like in a circle. So you can, and this when hay is compact, which is hay is what you feed like cows and stuff in the winter. But when hay is compact, it weighs a freaking ton. Like, you will not be able to lift it yourself. It weighs an absolute truck ton. Now, we were in a field and we found these hay bales that are pretty much have just been freshly, like, made, and they were left there overnight. And so all of, like, my brother and someone else, can't remember now, we were playing with them, we were messing around with them pretty much, and we started to roll them down a hill. Now, that was all fun, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what clicked into my brain, but I jumped on that rolling bale, and literally, I ran after the bale, jumped onto it, and if I did not jump off it in time, I would have been squished. I honestly don't know how I managed to even jump off it, but I remember, all I freaking remember is rolling once I fell off that bale, because it was picking up some amazing speed right there. But all I remember is it just, when I fell off, it's just tumbling down the hill. Like, I don't know how I didn't break a bone or something. I honestly don't know. But then when we went home, my brother went into one of my older brothers went into the kitchen and pretty much said to my mom that I nearly died in a sense. And then yeah, it was yeah, I honestly, she asked me what I was thinking. I to this day I don't even know what I was thinking. I think I had some sort of plan in my head where I'd do, like, it would be fine, but I never thought it through, and I should have been squished by a bale. And it, like, honestly, like, you might not think, oh, a bit of hay, it's heavy. It would squish you, and especially like a 10-year-old boy. And the last story is, I was younger. I was about 8, maybe a bit younger actually, and I was playing in the car. This is not how I almost died or anything. It was just funny in a sense. But I was playing in the car, and I was like pretending I was driving the car, and I lifted up the handbrakes, and it went back onto the rocks, and it crashed up there. And yeah, I pretty much crashed the car at the age of 6. So, pretty huge achievement, I would like to think. But yeah, that's literally like some of the stories from my childhood, like in depth wise, I would say. I don't know what else other stories I have from my childhood, but guys, if you want me to speak about anything else, whatever stories, just tell me what stories you'd like me to speak about or anything like that. Let me know down below, and if you've watched this far, comment explosion if you've watched this far. But yeah, that was my main story. Was pretty explosive. Pun intended. But yeah, it's pretty explosive. But yeah, that's literally the stories. I just wanted to say that because, like, you know, not everyone's been in an explosion, and you know, I have, and I've survived, you know. But yeah, it wasn't the biggest explosion ever, but it was a pretty big explosion. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really do like telling these stories because, like, it's just a chance for me to, like, just say how my childhood was, and by the looks of it, my childhood was, like, to be honest, I shouldn't have even had a childhood. Put it that way, I should have been, like, dead. Honestly, I was just such a stupid child. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you next one. Expect probably a factions episode tomorrow. Yeah, I shall see you then. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you tomorrow.